I want to take this fantastic thought that you have just presented, and I want to apply it to the people that are watching. We don't know if they're watching from prison. We don't know if they're watching from a mansion. We don't know if they're watching at work. We don't know if they're watching in India or Africa or South America or Canada. But there's people in different situations, and a lot of them are depressed because their life is so bad. They have done things that has put guilt into their heart. They have no peace thinking about it. They don't like themselves. And maybe other people don't like them. Maybe there are people that are living in a mansion. They're living husband and wife, and they don't even talk to each other. They got everything that you would want, but they can't even talk to each other because things have happened in the past. Apply these words: Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. How far does the love of Jesus go? He's done it to people. He has forgiven people that are crucifying him. He's forgiven them. Was his prayer answered? And then how do you apply it to all the people that are watching right now?
First of all, John, I want to clarify something. When Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do, it was not necessarily a blanket forgiveness for everyone who was around the cross. But the prayer was answered for the people for whom it was intended. Now, we know that some of the soldiers believed on Christ. The centurion who was responsible for the crucifixion that was taking place, he said when Jesus died, truly, he was the Son of God. And then, this is so exciting, when Peter preached on the day of Pentecost, 3,000 people believed. And I like to think, and I'm sure it's true, that some of the people who shouted, crucify him, were in that number. And Jesus was willing to pray for them because he knew that eventually they would believe. Now, let's think about this. The very people who said, his blood be upon us and upon our children, Jesus took his blood and he applied it to them, and they were forgiven. So in answer to your question, how does it apply to those who are watching today? We need to emphasize that there's no such thing as an unpardonable sin. The situations that you described, when we think of what has been accomplished and what people have done, horrible things. But God's grace and God's mercy is extended to them. No sin is unpardonable except rejecting Jesus Christ. And you don't receive his pardon unless you ask for it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, people are wearing the pendant with the cross all over the world. And maybe they think it'll be a lucky charm. Maybe it'll help them when they get to death and they have to face God. But the Bible says, no, don't think that way.
The Bible says very clearly, but as many as received him, to those he gives the authority to be called the children of God. Now there are two comments that have to be made here. It is one thing to believe on him. It's something else to receive him, to acknowledge a person's sinfulness, and to respond to his grace and mercy. And so we need to understand, if God was able to forgive the horror of what these men did nailing Jesus Christ to the cross, we could say definitely that is the worst crime that has ever been committed. If that could be forgiven, then any person listening to us today can be forgiven if they reach out to Jesus Christ and receive what he accomplished on the cross.